Hey Pythonistas, welcome back to another in the series on Fluent Python. Following along with this book, this fantastic book by Luciano Ramahlo, Fluent Python. So stick around. In this episode, we are going to be going over the different kinds of dictionaries, what they mean, what you might want to use them for. So stay tuned. Let's dive into some Python right now. Okay, hey folks. So in this video, we are going to go over three different kinds of Python dictionaries. Four, actually. We are going to go over the order dict, the chain map, the counter, and frozendict. So let's start with order dictionaries. So this is useful, and it's useful in terms of older versions of Python, Python 2, the Python 2 versions and early versions of Python 3, where dictionaries were not ordered by default. So starting in Python, I believe it's 3.6, it might even be earlier, 3.3, dictionaries will be ordered by default. Now, what do we mean by ordered? We mean that the keys that go into the dictionary will always appear in the same insertion time in the dictionary. If that's important to you for some reason, then you can count on the dictionary keys being inserted into the dictionary in the same order. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a dictionary here. And I'm sort of just making up some keys. So we get the order dict by calling from collections. So collections is part of the standard library. We do from collections import ordered dict, and then we can say what I had before here, this setup. This final dict has these keys in this order, and we're guaranteed here to retain the keys in this order every time that we instantiate this dictionary. Okay, so this wasn't always the case. And so what you could see is if I change this to the regular sort of default way of instantiating a dictionary, one of the default ways. I'm going to make that import again. That's okay. So here's let's do this. Here's a dictionary, regular dictionary that you might expect to see. I believe it was final dict. Let's see, what was the name of it? Okay, final dict. And here's the ordered dict. So what we can expect is that visitor team will always be the first item inserted in here. Ordered dicts also have some special sort of methods. If I do pop item, what I am going to do is pop the last item there. Let's see what happens if I do this on the regular dict. It popped the last item as well. That's the default, but what we can pass into final dict pop item, we can say last equals false here and pop the first item. I don't believe we could do that with a regular dictionary. It takes no keyword arguments, so you can pop the first item off. So a little bit different for use if you need your keys in a very specific order in your dictionary. And that might happen if you're inserting this dictionary into another maybe tabular format. So there's the use case for order dict, less pressing now that in Python 3 we are ensuring that the dictionary keys are inserted in the same order from which you insert them into the dictionary. Okay, the next dictionary type is a chain map, and I'm just instantiating it here. So the chain map holds a list of mappings that can be searched as one, and the search is performed on each mapping in order and succeeds if the key is found in any of them. So what I can do is search for C there and get 3. So you'll see that I have this, I'm inserting 3 different dictionaries into this chain map object, right? And I look for C. Now the key C appears once at the end, but it's returning the first instance that it finds of it. So if I try to return B, I get 2, which is the first instance here. And then, of course, I can return A. And I'm kind of interested to see how this blows up. So let's try a get, which will return none. So that's a chain map, which will allow you to search quickly through this list of mappings. Now this next one I didn't know about until I read through it here, but this would be really interesting to use. This is a counter, and you can instantiate it this way. So you'll see that I'm passing a list of items here, and it creates for me a dictionary that has the keys, the values of the keys from that list are the count of things. So if I update this with a new list, I think I can update it with a list. What I get is an increase in the counters automatically. So that just comes to me. Now let's just see what happens if I pass in a new piece into here. So it says, okay, I need to call dot update. Okay, there you have it. So interesting counter object. And it is mutable, so that is something to be aware of. Okay, I want to talk about one more thing, which is the frozendict, and you actually have to pip install this. So you have to pip install frozendict. This I don't believe this is in Luciano's book, but I'm going to talk about it because it's useful to have. I find it useful. So what the frozendict is a immutable dictionary. So what does that mean, and why would we want that? So let's say that we have something where what we need to do, so essentially what I've just done is I've imported frozendict from frozendict and then made one here, and this will be an immutable dictionary. And so let's say that these keys were let's call this price and 100, and let's call this margin instead of 20%. So now what you could do in a typical dictionary would be that are mutable, you could change the price or you can change the margin. But if you need a lookup that's frozen, that's immutable, that's not going to change, in that you can't have somebody unintentionally or intentionally within your program change that value. You can issue a frozendict, and then you could still use it for lookups because it has that properties of a dictionary, but you're not going to have someone accidentally go in and change those values, which can really mess with some of your programs and cause some significant bugs. All right, so that's it for me for this video. So we went through order dict, ChainMap counter, and frozendict. If you want to work with me on some incubator data projects, check out growthtesttube.com. We just gather small groups of people to work on some fun data projects together. You can sign up there. Also, liking and subscribing really helps the channel out. So do that, and I am always excited to see your comments and your reviews of the videos. So until next time, happy programming, and we'll talk to you later.